Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and today we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. But perennials are important to know where you're going to put them and what's best suited, since it is a long-term commitment. And so today we're going to focus on perennials for the shade.
It does probably get a little bit of morning sunlight, but then, maybe it may have full shade a little bit on in the afternoon, or maybe at parts of the day, maybe not morning sun, but it may get just a little bit of afternoon sun, and then pretty much it's so anywhere from like part shade to full shade, you can basically plant these in. And so the first one I wanted to talk about, it's called Helleborus, which is also known as Linton Rose.
Yes.
And this one is absolutely gorgeous. This one is the earliest blooming perennial that'll go in shade. And so I feel like, February, March time frame for us here in Kentucky, that's why it makes it so desirable, because again, it works great in that time of year when nothing else is out there. So Linton Rose, it comes in a lot of different colors. I've seen white, some speckled looked, so really pinks. Sometimes people refer to Linton Rose as like a Christmas type rose too, and it's more of a clumping type perennial. So whenever you start to see this one kind of fade out as far as the display it provides, you probably want to do some division on it. So that's part of the maintenance with some of these perennials, but still really great option for earlier season. Now the other one I wanted to talk about is known as Dicentra, and this one is really attractive for the shade. A lot of the deer and some of the other wildlife won't touch it. It's actually known as bleeding heart. So it's commonly referred to as bleeding heart because of the heart-shaped bloom that it provides. And it's really pretty how it kind of curls over. A lot of places kind of use it in cut flower arrangements too, just to kind of give it another little, interest in their arrangements. So bleeding heart can work really great depending on what you have, what area. So that one's a great option. Another one that's real popular, comes in a lot of different colors and varieties, that's Hosta. And so Hosta is very pretty. I know I see a lot it's mainly grown for the foliage. So a lot of times you can find it in like real pretty blues, you can find it in like dark greens. I've seen some variegated looks, but not only just for the foliage, it does have a bloom. So it kind of comes up and has more of a tubular type shape bloom to it. So it's going to kind of be May into June whenever it does bloom. Really the hummingbirds really like it. So if you have maybe you want to add a hummingbird garden to your area, it'll work great for that too. Pretty low maintenance. You will have to do some division on this one. There's different sizes of Hosta depending on which variety you have. Some of them are minis to smalls to medium, even really large. So it just kind of depends on which variety you have on knowing when you're going to need to divide it, but still works really great, low maintenance, so pretty good deal there. Now the other one we have is Solomon Seal. So Solomon Seal is one that it's kind of different and unique because of the bloom shape that it looks to it. So I've seen a lot of some of my master gardeners that have it, and they have more of the variegated Solomon Seal. I have seen it where it's just strictly all green, no variegation to it, but still real delicate bloom, and it works great in woodland type areas. So that's generally where you typically will find Solomon Seal, but that one works great. The other one is Astilbe. It's kind of neat as far as it's kind of got a leather leaf type foliage to it, and then the blooms can be all different colors. I've seen reds, I've seen pinks, a lot of whites, but still it can give you really attractive bloom for the shade.
And the texture of those blooms are different. It's like feathery almost.
It's really nice against the hostas that we just talked about. So if you can play around with some of these, you can have them kind of staggered as far as when they're going to bloom. So Astilbe works great. And then the last one I wanted to mention is Coral Bells. This one is known for the genus name as Heuchera, but it comes in a lot of different shades. So mainly we grow it for the foliage, and I've seen it where it's kind of a reddish color, like a limey color, maybe even a dark, almost blackish purple look. So depending on which cultivar or variety that you have, you can play a lot with that colorful foliage there. But too, it's going to bloom generally for us, and it's going to be kind of more of a delicate bloom to it. So not as attractive probably as the foliage, but still really great for those shade spaces.
A lot of people have a lot of trouble growing grass in shade spaces.
Yes.
So this might be a good alternative.
Right. And like I said, if you can kind of stagger these, because I know on my area, we have a lot of woods near us on one side of the house. And so if you can kind of stagger these, where they're not blooming all at one time, you can still have some attractive locations in that shade.
We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show, and we'll see you next time.